This officer has no respect for the Fourth Amendment.
Am I being detained?
Yes, right now you are.
For what? What reasonable articulable suspicion you got that I committed a crime?
You didn't slow down.
That's not a crime. You can't tell me to slow down. I'm the owner of the car.
I know, I'm just checking to see who you are.
Right. But you don't have any articulable suspicion. This gentleman here told us to pull in here.
And then he stepped out in the road to tell you to stop.
No, he told us to pull in here. He grabbed my ID. This cop grabbed my ID out of my car.
Welcome back to Just Following Orders. Today's video is coming from John Stewart's channel. Make sure you go check out his content and let him know I sent you. So today's video is coming from Pikeville, Tennessee, where our driver was traveling down the road when he noticed a lady who was waving him down on the side of the road. Now, she didn't have any kind of sign or insignia showing that she was an official or a worker or anything, so he just kept going. He gets further down the road and there's a guy with an actual vest on in the middle of the road getting him to like stop. So he rolls his window down and he asks the worker like, what's the problem? And the worker tells him to like wait there for a second. So he waits there for a second and up comes an officer from the Bledsoe County Sheriff's Department. The officer is complaining to our driver about speeding, even though the officer just sped up to our driver to catch up to him. And the thing to pay attention to with this video is the driver keeps asking what crime did he commit? Like what's his reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime? And the officer never says that because nobody ever actually clocked this man. They're just saying that he was driving too fast. So let's take a look at the video. This is a pretty short one, so I'm gonna let it play through and I'll come in with my thoughts at the end. Y'all hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's get started.
You got your ID on you.
Am I being detained?
Yes, right now you are.
For what? What reasonable articulable suspicion you got that I committed a crime?
You didn't slow down.
That's not a crime. You can't tell me to slow down when I'm driving up there and you told me to slow down.
Hand me your ID,
reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime. Tell me what it is.
Hand me your ID, sir.
Let me get a supervisor.
Hand me your ID, sir.
Supervisor.
Hand me your ID,
I'm asking you for a supervisor.
Hand me your ID, sir.
I'm asking you for a supervisor.
Hand me your ID, sir.
I'm asking you for a supervisor,
Hand me
sir.
your ID, sir.
What reasonable articulable suspicion have you got that I committed a crime?
Hand me your ID, sir.
You just said to me, you asked me to slow down and I didn't, and I'm sitting still, sir.
Go ahead. I'm just asking for your ID, sir.
What do you need my ID, sir?
Just give him your
We didn't do
ID.
anything wrong.
We're not going to jail for
He's done,
anything.
right, but he's done run it. I heard everything come back and they said
That
I'm
was on your
fine.
tag.
I'm the owner of the car.
I know, I'm just checking to see who you are.
Right. But you don't have any articulable suspicion of what's the crime I
told you to slow down and you kept on going.
How can you tell me to slow down when I'm sitting still, sir? How can you tell me to slow down?
You were not sitting still when you went blowing by me.
You weren't up there.
I was standing right there.
This gentleman here told us to pull in
here. And then he
here.
stepped out in the road to tell you to stop.
No, he told us to pull in here. He grabbed my ID. This cop grabbed my ID out of my car.
You don't have no problem, brother.
No, I ain't got no problems. Sir, can you have my wallet back to me and I'll take my ID out? You don't need my wallet. It's got money in it.
I comes back to John M. Stewart out of Walling, Tennessee. He has a valid Class Delta, no gun permit, no restrictions, several priors, negative NCS.
Get your name and badge number, sir.
Badge number's 1212.
And your last name?
Pack.
Pack. You tell me why you reached in my car and grabbed my ID like that?
Because I asked you to hand them to me, and I could have put you in cuffs.
What's your location?
I asked you to slow down. You did not slow down. I had every right to pull you out of this car and detain you when I asked you for your name and you did not give your name. I asked you for your license. You did not give me your license.
Please explain to me, what do you mean you
to.
asked us to slow down?
When I told you to slow down and you did not slow down, you only slowed down when the man stepped out in front of your car. Sir,
and told us to pull in
not.
here, did he not? And we pulled in here.
Yes, after he stepped in front of your car to keep you from hitting him. So that's the only time you stopped. So I'm not going to tell you that again. I do have a right to detain you.
There's nothing.
I do have a right to ask you for your ID.
We were slowing down to come through this intersection.
That
we
is
don't
a
know what's
lawful
going
order.
on.
I
didn't
have
say
a
it was
right.
the lawful order.
I do have a right to ask you for your ID at any time. So whether you want to or not, you do have to comply with that. Whether you're recording that or not.
That ain't, the recording's just for me. That ain't got anything to do with it. We are slowing down. We come over this hill. We don't know what's going on.
When you came down through there and you saw blue lights right there, and then I tell you to slow down, you did not slow down. You kept on going right past me.
Doing 5 miles an hour.
No, you were not doing
This gentleman
5 miles
come
an
out
hour.
and slowed
The
us
speed
down.
limit's 30 miles an hour.
We wasn't doing 30 miles an hour.
Yes. You were doing more than that. You were doing 40. Down through there.
Oh, yeah, until we got stopped, I'm sure we might have been doing 35 or 40, but I wouldn't do no 35 or 40 when we come up to you or that gentleman over there.
Slow down, and you didn't. You went right past me, and then he stepped out in front of me. So, that's the reason why you were being detained. You understand that?
I do understand that.
All right, slow down.
Thank you, sir.
Speed limit's 30 miles an hour all the way down through here.
And we weren't going over 30.
Yes, you were. When you come past me, you were.
Let us go.
Believe me, I can tell.
All right.
I do this for a living. All right?
What was your name again, sir?
I told you already. You got it recorded.
Pat. Okay. Are we free to go?
Just a second. As soon as this car goes by.
Hang on, don't back up yet.
Come on.
Surprised they didn't try to get yours because you're a black man out here in this county, you know it?
Look,
Fuck these motherfuckers.
look, Todd.
So that's the end of that video. One thing I will say, when you guys have passengers in your car, make sure you tell the passenger to keep their mouth shut if you get into an interaction with the police, because his friend over here was just talking his head off, saying all kinds of shit that he shouldn't have been saying. So this officer was just on a power trip, and it was obvious from John's reaction that he didn't even see this officer. He saw the lady beforehand, and of course he saw the guy when he got in front of the car, but he didn't see the officer. It looks like to me that the officer took it kind of personal, like it personally offended him that like the driver didn't slow down when he said to slow down. And it's like I was saying earlier, when John was asking the officer what a reasonable, articulable suspicion he had and like what crime he committed, the officer couldn't answer because it was his own subjective feelings that John was going too fast. He didn't clock him. He didn't have any kind of radar of him going over the speed limit. But then the officer reaches in John's car and grabs his wallet and snatches his ID, which is a clear Fourth Amendment violation. And you know what? It cost him because according to John, he reached out to the police department to see if the officer was still there, and he was told that he's no longer with the department. So, you know, this video is a classic case of fuck around and find out. This officer did way too much, overstepped his bounds, and ended up getting his ass canned. But let me know what you all thought about this interaction in the comments. Thank y'all for watching today's video. Please check out another one. I'll see y'all next time. Y'all have a great day.